long holiday weekend, what better way to spend it than doing a core crusher. This one is going to be working all abs and doesn't require any equipment whatsoever. I have just done a little jog around the block, so I'm well warmed up, and you guys need to make sure that you are also. Could be done outside. I'm inside because it seems like every man and his dog is cutting his yard right now, so I don't think you'd be able to hear a word I was saying. All right, V-sits. You're on your back, legs out straight, knees in towards the chest, in and out. Nice and steady. You have to make sure that your back is straight and core pulled in tight. Transverse abdominals. Remember those girdle muscles that run all the way around the lower area of the abdomen. Now I like to do this one rotating slightly from left butt cheek, right butt cheek. I just find it more comfortable on tailbone. I have an inordinately long tailbone, it would seem, that digs uncomfortably into any kind of mat. So if you find you have that issue, you just roll over onto the butt cheek from one side to the other, and you eliminate that problem. Breathing out as your knees are coming into your chest, in on the way back down. All right, next exercise. You're staying on your back. Equally important to keep the transverse abdominals engaged, and we are doing big leg circles. Starting at the top, and you're going to go in a full circle clockwise, and then a full circle counterclockwise. And the lower your legs go for this one, the harder it is on core. So basically, if you need to make it easier, you just do a lot smaller circles. And this is the second exercise of 10. We got 3 rounds, so when I said it was a core killer, I wasn't lying. Nice deep breaths. Try not to be holding onto the mat for dear life. Your arms get a rest for most of this workout, so focus on letting them relax and use the abs instead. Excellent. 2 down. Okay, number 3, you are staying on your back. Legs are straight. You are reaching up. Toe touches. Leg lowers. Breathe out. Touch the toes. Nice, slow and steady, leg lowers. Now the leg lower part is hard again on lower back. So a couple of options. You can just leave the legs vertical, or you can do one leg lower. Sit up, other leg lower. Both legs going down together is the hardest version. And again, same as with the circles. The lower the legs go, the harder it is on lower back. Now if you've got a nice strong core, you shouldn't be feeling it on lower back. Breathe out as you lift up, in as you lower. However, some people just find that's an area that they struggle with. As your legs lower, try to make sure that your back doesn't overarch. Perfect. Number 4, we're going on to a side plank. Now, harder version, if you want to make it harder than a side plank, you're doing clamshell raises. So knee to the front, lifting up and down. Plank on its own might be tough enough, and an easier version of a plank is holding a plank from the knees, but make sure that the shoulder is as far away from your ear as possible, so don't let it drop down that way. All right, we are halfway. Switch over to a plank on the other side. And these clamshell raises, they do make it a significantly harder exercise, and you're going to feel it a little bit in the bum as well. Belly pulled in nice and tight, nice, steady breathing. Okay, next one. So we're rotating round now onto the front, and you're going to do a suicide plank, which is on the hands, down onto the elbows, up onto the hands, foot to the hand, foot to the hand. So that little bit is almost like a stretch, not particularly challenging. The suicide bit, however, aptly named. It's challenging enough, that's for sure. flat. You're not going to let your bum come down, and you're not going to let your bum come up in the air. I call it banana back or pyramid bum. Neither of those are a good position for the plank. And if you want to make this a bit harder, knee to the side, you just don't put your foot onto the ground. All right, staying on the front, we're doing a frog plank. So you're lying on your belly, arms up, legs up, elbows down towards knees, and back up. It's a very ungainly looking exercise. You are trying to make sure your thighs stay off the ground and your elbows stay off the ground. Now you can relax in between, lift up, down, up, and relax, or you can eliminate the bit where you're relaxing down. Makes it a lot harder on all the muscles down the back. And this is a nice, slow, steady movement. You don't want to rush it. The slower you go, the better you're working everything. So just make sure you're not holding your breath for it. All right, the next one, we are going into a plank with knees twisting to the side. So static plank, knees come to the side, if you can, but tapping the ground. So again, another slow, controlled movement. This is another one that I find my toes slipping away on the ground. So I just need to constantly readjust my position to make sure that I'm keeping a nice flat plank throughout. Okay, we're going back onto the side again now. So now you've got a side plank with a dip and elbow to knee. Dip, elbow to knee. Alternating the dip first, followed by the elbow to knee. And again, to make this one easier, the whole exercise can be done from the knees. Lower the bum, elbow to knee. Lower the bum, elbow to knee. And to make it easier altogether on shoulder, you can just bring the elbow to the ground and focus on the upper bit. All right, halfway, you're going to switch over to the other side. Up, dip, elbow to knee. The dip, you're doing a lower, not a drop. So it's a nice, smooth, controlled movement, lowering down, not letting your bum just drop like a rock. Okay, next one, on your back, in a star. Left hand to right foot, right hand to left foot. Working a little bit more muffin tops there. The oblique muscles, the muscles at the side, love handles, all sorts of interesting names. Breathe out as you sit up, in as you lower. Number 10 of 10. The crab. Legs out straight. Legs back in. Tough old exercise. And you can do the same thing in a bridge. And you're not going to be using your shoulders. So this is a really good one for working the lower back and the bum and the hamstrings. And you are trying to stay smooth, fluid, not letting your bum lower. So the bum wants to come down. You're holding it up as high as you can the whole way through. And try to have your head lined up with your body, so you're not chin on the chest or head back with a broken neck. And if you can keep your elbows very slightly bent, so you're not putting your body weight on a locked joint. Okay, we are 1 round down. 2 to go. If you can remember what we've got next to start off with, you're doing very well. So if you have a Bosu, you could be sitting on a Bosu. Like I said, if you have a bench, you could be sitting on a bench. And on the floor is totally fine too. We're back to those V-sits. So 10 minutes down, 20 to go. Are you ready for the next round? Sitting on your bum, either doing rolling side to side or straight in the middle. And just make sure that back stays straight. If your chest is rounding forwards, your back is not straight. Make sure chin is not on chest, remember. You're looking up towards the ceiling, the sky if you're outside. Breathe out as your knees come into your chest. You should be really well warmed up now. Second round I often find is the absolute best round. Alright, you're on your back, the leg circles. It's before you get really tired, your form should be great, your energy levels should be great. Come on, you're going to kick it. Are you ready? Back lying leg circles. Remember, you decide how low you go. The lower you go, the harder the exercise. And you could make this one harder, if it's not tough enough for you, by putting a ball between your feet or a mini band around your ankles. Mini band around your ankles, you then have your legs stretched as wide as you could go, and you'd add a little bit more work in for the glutes, the bum. You might feel that it's tough enough anyways. I feel it's tough enough if you want me to keep talking, which maybe you do, maybe you don't. Who knows? It's a distraction for me and for you. I'm racking my brains trying to remember what the next one is without looking at my list. Ah, I got it. Legs in the air, toe touches, leg lower, toe touches, alternating leg lower. If you want to keep one leg up and the other leg goes down, easier on the back. And the legs staying up in the air, not lowering at all, is the easier version on the lower back. It's not easier on the abs, however. If anything, it might be a little harder because you end up doing more sit-ups. Well done, keep it going. After this, I'm pretty sure we're going into a side something. Alright, so side plank, oh that's it, with the clamshell raisers. With or without the clamshell raisers, you pick. I think you should go with them. They're good on tightening those butt cheeks. Alright, it's only a half one, remember. So instead of a full 45 seconds, you've only got 22 and a half seconds. That was complicated math there, wasn't it? Don't let your bum drop. Halfway, tough not to. You've got to work that underneath leg that much harder to keep your bum up when you're only on one foot. Try to keep your knee as close to 90 degrees as possible and your hip as close to 90 degrees. And the easier versions of these, remember, are just a regular plank or a plank from the knees. Okay, now we're going over to the front and suicide plank with knees coming knee up to elbow or foot up to hand. That one is more of a stretch. This one is still tougher on the obliques. So down, up, that's the stretch. That's the more challenging one to the core. So it's kind of like doing, it's a little bit like doing a breaststroke. If you're a swimmer and you know what a breaststroke looks like, except you're trying to keep your shoulders off the mat and your thighs off the mat. So everything lifts up and then it's elbow towards knees and straight. Breathing out and in. If you want to look good doing this exercise, don't do this exercise. This is not an exercise that you can look elegant doing, at least not me anyway. And I'm honestly yet to find anybody else who does. As long as you're all doing it together, it doesn't matter, who cares? If you look good, you're probably doing it wrong. Make sure the head is not lifted up, lined up with your back, which basically will be parallel to the ground. Alright, we are going back over. You're staying on the plank and you're bringing knees to the side, knees to the side. So it's bum down towards the ground as your knees rotate, bum down towards the ground, knees rotate. Now you'll probably notice my arm is bending slightly on this. So it means that I'm working my arms harder as well. You could do the same thing on your elbows, and it would be a little easier on your core and your wrists. You don't have quite so much room for clearance, but you end up just having to rotate a little bit more, so it's certainly not wrong doing it that way. Okay, now we are going back onto side, and it's the side plank dips and elbow to knee. So again, remember, you can do it from the knee, and you can do it full plank dip and here, and you can do it all the way down to the ground and just do this elbow to knee, and it makes it a lot more shoulder friendly. Nice deep breaths. Halfway. Slick little spin there. Come on, don't waste too much time switching around. Last minute before we go into the third round, you have those crabs. So you're on your back, hands on the ground, and then walking in and out. So legs out straight, legs back in. Slow movement, just make sure you are trying to keep as level as possible. So if you had something resting on your belly, it wouldn't be falling off. Because your belly isn't moving. Your bum is trying really hard to stay the same height, even when your legs come out straight. Not easy. Trying not to stamp. I just realised how loudly I'm banging down trying to get off them. Third round. Alright, so we're going into the third and final round. 20 minutes down, 10 minutes to go. Remember, you're starting off with those V-sits. Your abs abs should be getting a little tired now, so just make sure you are trying to maintain form. Most important is that form stays good. Even if you have to modify and go to a slightly easier version, it's the better option than hurting lower back. Alright, so let's go. This time I am rolling from one butt cheek to the other when my knees are in and bent. It's just a variation. Slightly easier on the lower back, but really it's just modifying form. Still largely exactly the same exercise. Okay, leg circles on your back, belly pulled in tight. Are you ready? Nice big circles. Try and keep those legs straight and together. And remember, you've got the option of band around the ankles if you wanted to make it harder, or ball between your feet. If you want to make it a lot harder, put a medicine ball between your feet. Just make sure you don't drop it on anything. Nice deep breaths. Make sure you're not holding your breath. Try not to be holding onto the mat too tight. You can make this one a lot harder by putting your arms up and in the air. It then relies a lot more on your core to stabilize you instead of your arms holding you there. For some people it might become a little bit impossible, so you be the judge. Remember, it's the third round. Alright, so we've got the legs up in the air for this one. Reaching up, touching the toes, with or without the leg lowers. Okay, are you ready? Easier version, you just keep your legs straight. Okay, we're over onto the side with the clamshell raisers. Come on, give the full version a go. It's definitely a challenging one. Knee to the front, up and slowly down. If you can't maintain the form of a plank, then just go back to the one where you're on your tippy toes in a full plank, or on your feet, not tippy toes, in a full plank, and hold it nice and steady. Halfway. Okay, front lying frogs, your last chance to look so elegant. This is the one where you don't want somebody to walk into the room when you're in the middle of it, particularly. Unless your goal is to entertain them, that is. Alright, so chest up, thighs up, elbows towards knees, back out straight, lower if you need to. If you don't need to lower, just go straight back into that breaststroke frog thing. I don't have a good name for this. Any suggestions? Try to lift as high as you can, get your chest up. Thighs should not be touching the mat. And you'll feel the muscles all the way down, either side of your spine, are engaged and contracted, which helps to keep your back strong and safe and upright, more importantly. All right, we are on to, oh, we forgot suicides. Well, if you guys remember the order right, you can do the frog ones now. If you forgot that it was suicide next, then you go into that one as well. All right, so down on the elbows, up on the hands, knee to the side, knee to the side. That'll learn me from practicing my memory challenge. I wanted to see if I could remember all 10 exercises without looking at the list. Guess I failed on that one then. Blood's not flying to my brain very well right now. It's going to the muscles, it's going to the place that's needed. Alright, look at my list, now I'm all out of sync. Alright, plank with side to side butt twists. So, put your arms to shake. Are you ready? If you're struggling with this one, you could lie on your back and have your knees flopped to the side and be bringing your upper body up. So, a more shoulder-friendly version, knees to the sides and lift up and down, up and down. It's working similar muscles. It's not quite the same, but the muscles that you're working are similar, and it's making it a lot easier on your shoulders. Okay, we are back to those side planks. Working our way back round. Almost at the start again, except we'll be done. 3 more minutes. Remember, side plank, butt dips, elbow to opposite knee. So you're lowering, not opposite knee, elbow to the same knee. And if you're doing this exercise with one knee bent, it's fine too. It's a little easier. Still working pretty much exactly the same muscle groups. All right, flip over. Come on, slick swivel. But lower, not drop. Elbow to knee. Nice, smooth, fluid movement. Come on, we're finishing strong here. We've got 2 minutes left. And it's those back laying stars. Hand to opposite. I don't remember doing this in the second round, but I guess I must have done. Apologies if I got it wrong, missed it out. Can't quite see how I could have done, but hey. Clearly my brain isn't quite screwed in there today. Shocker, hey? Come on, we're nearly done. After this, you have one little exercise left, and I know it's the one that you like the best. So I've saved it for the last. Crabs with those in and out feet walks. Keep your bums up high. Don't let them lower. Come on, squeeze glutes. This is another one, if I didn't say already, which who knows today, what I haven't said. Really good for strengthening back, lower back particularly. So strong lower back will help to prevent you having back issues. So, might have been a really obvious statement there. With all the yard work we all have coming up, you're going to need this one. job. We are finished. So thank you for joining me for that little core blast. I will finish now because clearly my brain isn't functioning as well today as it needs to be. And I hope you guys have a fabulous day. Don't forget to finish with a good stretch, lower back particularly.